Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. Brought to you by Blue Sky Business Consulting. We discuss 5 questions in about 15 minutes. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. I'm excited to welcome my friend Steve Galley. He is from right here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and he is a high-performance coach, especially working with athletes and parents. So, Steve, I'm excited to talk to you today, but tell us a little bit more about some of the coaching that you do.
Well, everything that I do and my business partner do in our coaching business is really centered around the teen athlete. And so, but we also coach the parents of the teen athlete, and everything is based on research-backed scientific high-performance principles. So we really focus on habit creation and really building habits and a mindset that's going to bring more joy into why these kids started playing sports in the first place, is because it was fun. And we want them to perform their best, and we think that they'll perform better if their parents perform better.
I love that approach. And you and I have talked a couple of times in the past here. So your insights are especially unique and valuable. So I'm excited to talk to you as we go through the questions today. So thanks again for joining us. Well, let's jump into it. All right. The first question, sometimes teams can fall into a little bit of a lull and the energy levels drop a little bit. What can leaders do to kind of pump people back up and re-infuse some energy into the team?
Well, I would start by asking the question, how often do you eat? How often do you hydrate? How often do you sleep? Are you treating your team and your employees like donkeys, or are you treating them like thoroughbreds? You know, what are you feeding them? And I use that as a metaphor, but are you going to take a donkey to the Kentucky Derby? Or are you going to take a thoroughbred to the Kentucky Derby? And I think a really, really important thing to do is to involve them. Sometimes as leaders, and I made this error as a coach, I just assumed that what is going to energize me is going to energize my team. And they need to be involved in the creation. One of the best lessons I've ever learned, Shawn, in leadership and organizing and running a team, coaching a team, is that people are going to support what they create or what they help to create. And so asking them, what is going to energize you? Is it going to be a drum circle in the break room at noon? Is it going to be some type of sales meeting, motivational meeting, whatever it is, flexible schedules? What is going to energize them so that they can perform their best? And I think you have to involve them. If you don't involve them, you could have this great idea or great program, but if it's not energizing your team, what good is it?
Yeah, great points. I really like that they will support what they help to create. I think that is a great way to look at that, especially, I mean, it applies to anything, but especially about energizing teams and really getting people pumped up and excited about the project or the team in this case, or whatever it may be. So I like that. Question number 2, how do people or leaders promote learning within the team or the company?
Well, I think you have to lead by example. And I know right now I'm just in a 2-man team, but we challenge each other and we share ideas with each other. And whatever we learn, we try to incorporate into whatever we're doing with our team. There's a leadership coach that I've become friends with that I've learned a lot from. And he just used this simple phrase, and it stuck with me for the last year. He said, you need to be a learn-it-all, not a know-it-all.
Oh, I like that.
And
Yeah.
so I think if you can, as a leader especially, if you can lead by example, showing that you are continuing to learn, whether it's going to seminars, whether it's reading, whether it's just asking questions of the team, the employees, if you're showing that you are constantly learning, then I think that's better than rolling out some program for your team saying, hey, you guys really need to study this. You need to learn this. I think you need to actually just be that person yourself. I think that would be the best promotion.
Well, and it ties back to your response to the first question, which is you kind of have to let them invest in themselves and encourage and create an environment that promotes learning, but ultimately allows the person to engage in whatever subject matter they find energizes them the most. So there's definitely some relationship between those first two questions on how we can promote learning and do it in a way that's effective for the people that, quite frankly, all of us do need to learn. And so
Right.
that's what's so great about it.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever heard the phrase, what matters is what you learn after you know it all?
Key stuff, though. Yeah. Just when you think you've got it, there's more to learn. And that's the stuff that's really transformational.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Question number 3. Share one tip for effective delegation.
Well, I believe that all progress starts with the truth. So, are you being honest with this person that you are delegating whatever task it might be? And I think I've made every mistake in the book as a coach, as a parent, as a leader. And I'm to the point now, Shawn, where if I'm delegating something, am I really showing confidence and gratitude to the person in advance? I think that's the key, more important than actually how you're communicating it. So if I'm delegating something, a task to you, am I showing that I believe in you? That
Yeah.
that whatever it is that I want you to do I believe in you? And do I let you know that? Do I clearly explain that I want you to do A, B, C, and this is the reason why I'm assigning this task to you is because I believe in you. And if it's a situation where the person maybe isn't completely capable of completing this task, I think that needs to be said. And the person needs to know that, okay, I view this as a challenging task for you. Maybe you don't have all of the skill set or all of the knowledge, but I want you to do this because this is going to make you better. This is going to make our team better. And if you get tripped up along the way, this support is going to be here for you.
Yeah.
But I just really think sometimes it's too much. I'm the boss, you're the employee. I'm the coach, you're the player. Do this. This is your job. You hear this a lot.
Yeah.
You hear it in the pro ranks. Hey, this is your job. Do your job. And I'm not saying that's not important, but are you showing belief in them that they can do that job?
Yeah. It's a great comment because that, if you don't convey that confidence and that trust, it will be sensed by the person receiving it, and it
For
has
sure.
yeah, it has the opposite effect. It actually makes them feel like, "Oh, you just dumped something on me that you didn't wanna
Right.
do," rather than, "Hey, I feel like you're the best person on the team to handle this task." And that is a huge up here for the employee, that is a huge mind shift. And so that's why it's so critical to do exactly what you said, is convey that trust. I love what you said. All right, well, final oh, no, we got one more question. Question number 4. I'm so excited to get to question number 5 that talks
You like
about
question 5.
we got to get to number 4 first because it's an important question. How do leaders effectively communicate principles such as values and mission and vision and some of those things? How can they effectively communicate those to their people, their employees and team members?
Yeah, I had to think a lot about this one because as I'm retired from teaching and coaching high school basketball. So I did that for 32 years. So I sat in a lot of faculty meetings. I sat in a lot of new school years where here comes a vision, here comes a mission. And I'm going to go back to you've got to let people help create
Mhm.
whatever it is that you want to execute. And I think if something is just put upon the team or the organization, there's often a lot of pushback.
Mhm.
And so I think back to the best teams that I had as far as them embracing mission and vision is when I involved them. And so we would have a theme for the year. And I think this can happen in a business. I think this can happen in a marriage. I think this can happen with a little league baseball team. This can happen with a high school football team. It doesn't matter. But asking them what they want, what do they see? What is their vision? And if you can start to get their ideas and they see that you are really going to consider them and incorporate them and you're going to run with this, I think that's more important than what the actual vision or mission is. I also think and this maybe is kind of an odd thought, but I know a lot of people do it, Shawn. Changing the environment. So a retreat, as they're often called. I know with our basketball teams, I would take them to Colorado every summer. We did this for over 20 years. Just the fact that we were away from our normal environment created a little bit of a different mindset.
It does.
And
Yes.
so getting away from the workplace, the normal place that you meet, I think can have a big impact, the thinking that goes on. So I really like those two things. Get them involved, let them help create the mission and the vision. And of course you can still lead, and then change the environment when you're doing this.
Yeah, I like those. Those are great comments and great ideas because, yes, I'm a big fan of retreats because it changes our mindset. It opens it up. For some reason, I can't quite figure out. I'm sure there's some science there somewhere, but getting out of our normal space together and getting into a different space, it somehow opens up the creativity, the connectivity with each other. There's something powerful about that. And I don't know what it is, but I do encourage it. So
I like that. You just hit a good little phrase there. You probably need to trademark that. Creativity and connectivity.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's
Yeah.
what I've seen time and time again, and it's powerful, powerful. All right, last question. Very excited as always because I love sports, especially baseball. I'm excited to hear what your baseball story is.
Well, I grew up in southern Idaho, but my dad grew up in Los Angeles, and he grew up a Dodger fan. And we would make the annual trek in a station wagon to Southern California. And I remember as a 5-year-old in 1970, we went to Dodger Stadium, which was a fairly new stadium at the time. I'm still amazed that it's basically the same stadium. It is, and it is such a beautiful stadium. But I was 5 years old. I went with my dad and my uncle, and we had really good seats down the first base line. We were in the first few rows near first base. And I'm 5 years old, and I had already started loving sports. My dad loved sports. So I didn't know it. Obviously, I'm 5 years old. I didn't really appreciate what was happening, but I had never been to a pro baseball game. And it was a close game. I can't even remember who they were playing, but we're in the sixth or seventh inning, and it's a close game, and I've got to go to the bathroom. I'm 5. So my dad sent me up the aisle. He pointed and he said, pointed to where the restrooms were and just told me to hustle, So I'm 5, and I went up there wherever. I got lost.
Oh, no.
And I don't have full, complete recollection of this being 5, but a security officer, police officer finally rescued me somewhere, and I was in tears. And I just remember my dad getting a little bit of a stern lecture up on the concourse from the police officer.
Yeah.
And we go back down and anyway, watched the end of the game. And when we got home, much to the chagrin of my father, my uncle brought up the story in the presence of my mother.
Oh, no.
And so then my dad got a second lecture from my mother that in Dodger Stadium, you don't send a 5-year-old on his own to. So that's my baseball story.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I love it in the sense that you got to go as a 5-year-old and it helped to instill a lifelong love of sports. It's interesting timing because by the time this gets released, the World Series will be long done, but
right,
we are recording it right in the middle of the World Series, and the Dodgers, of course, are in it. And so it's been fun to watch them play, and it's been fun to watch how it's all unfolded, even though they knocked out my beloved Phillies. I'll have to just handle that, but that's a great story. But thank you for sharing that. Hopefully all the subsequent visits to LA or any other sporting event were not quite as adventurous as that one. But
no, we've been to I've been back to Dodger Stadium a few times, and I have not been lost. I have not got lost.
Good, good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for taking time to be on the podcast. Really appreciate it. How can people find you?
The best way is to find me on LinkedIn, and Steve Galley on LinkedIn. We also do have a website, it's a long name, create.transform.BECOME. And my partner and I, his name is Nate Crandall. He's another high performance coach. And we do the Stop Parenting and Start Coaching podcast. And we've been doing that for going on close to 2.5 years now. And we talk, it's basically for ambitious parents of high performing athletes and teen athletes. And we have a blast with that. As you know, I know you enjoy doing your podcast.
Podcasting is fun.
Yeah,
yes,
it is fun.
Well, that's awesome. Great to have you on, and thank you so much, and good luck with everything that you're doing to help these wonderful athletes and their parents and their families find some really healthy focus in doing some fun things, doing good things, productive things. I think that's great what you're doing, so keep it up. And thanks to all of you who are joining us each week, and we wish you success in all of your leadership and team building endeavors. And don't forget to pick up your copy of Rapid Fire Leadership that's available on Amazon.com. Thanks so much to everybody. Have a great day. This is Shawn Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, go to teamengagementpodcast.com. We also invite you to follow or subscribe to our podcast wherever you may be listening or watching. Is your business thriving? Go to tbs-score.com to find out. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great day.